Now, if you aren't quite ready to make the transition to a hybrid, there are other solutions out there to help you reduce your impact on the environment. You may have noticed some new products and fresh ideas at the gas pump. Here's a deeper look at one such product, Shell's nitrogen-enriched Vpower. Well, something that every consumer has to do from time to time is stop and get some of that fuel stuff. And something you may have seen already is the nitrogen-enriched Shell product. What does that mean, nitrogen-enriched?
Well, actually, it means that the deposit control additive in the fuel.
In English? In English?
In English? It's the cleaner in the fuel. Typically, fuel comes into a fuel terminal, and at the terminal, the drivers come in with their tanker trucks, they swipe a credit card, and the fuel goes in, but also a prescribed amount of the additive, a fuel additive, goes into a fuel tank. In our case, our deposit-controlled additive is a nitrogen-enriched additive. So basically, the gasoline it has its own amount of nitrogen in it, but what we've done with our additive is we have essentially formulated it to put the nitrogen in the best locations on that additive molecule, so that when it goes in with the fuel into the engine, it gives it the best opportunity to dissolve deposits and to disperse them so they can go off into the combustion chamber and get burned up. The second thing that it does is for engines that are clean, it helps to protect them from getting dirty. So ideally, an engine that is clean provides you with a benefit. First of all, lower emissions, the added bonus of performance improvements, and the third bonus is that, of course, you get optimized fuel economy.
So what have you done with this car to specifically prove that this additive is going to be better for you?
That's a good question. What we did here, and we wanted to create an environment where we would have the same driver, the same operating conditions, the same engine. So what we did was we essentially split the fuel rail system in the car. So that means we have two tanks, two separate fuel tanks in there, one for the nitrogen-enriched gasoline and one for potentially a competitive product. And then we have a separate fuel system so that three of the cylinders will run on our, as example, Vpower, nitrogen-enriched gasoline, and the other cylinder will run on an LAC product.
LAC, for those that don't know, means it's the lowest amount of concentration that the government requires that you have. How would you prove to me that this gasoline works, that it's what you say it is?
Well, the results speak for themselves, and you can see with the fiber optics instrument that we've got here, you've got one valve that is very definitely got a gunk on it, and that's after 5,000 miles or 8,000 kilometers. And you can see the other side of the engine with the valve that has been running on the Shell Vpower nitrogen-enriched gasoline is clean.
Why would you bother doing that if you know your gas is so much better already?
Well, I think it's important to prove beyond any shadow of a doubt. And when we have the same car driving under the same conditions on the same roads, being driven by the same driver, it's pretty much proof positive.
You don't want gunk inside of there.